Broke it down, and what holds this grab bar on each side are two Phillips head bolts, and they go in to this. One goes here, and I think one goes at the bottom, and one goes up here. It's attached from underneath. And then we got two larger bolts that one mounts here and one mounts here. So I put some anti-seize on there because the threads are a little, I don't have a chasing tap, so I'm going to put some anti-seize on there. And one of them I actually had some kind of liquid coming out of it. So I'm not sure what that was, but what I'm using is this anti-seize lubricant to lubricate the threads, and hopefully I never have to take them out again, but if I should, maybe it'll be easier and they won't snap off. If they snap off, you might have to replace your grab bar. And there's another piece of hardware. This metal strap goes under the fender, and I believe it's it's going to follow the contour of the tank, like something like that. So I'm going to figure out which way it's oriented, and I'm going to put it up in there. I'm going to put start our bolts, and then once I mount this, I'm going to figure out the linkage, and then I'll come back to the linkage and I'll cover the linkage with you once I have it on. So it'll be a few minutes, making good progress, so hang with me, guys. About something. So I put that Permatex anti-seize lubricant on there, and that worked great, but unfortunately I had to remove them. So when I put these back on, there's a flat washer, and then there's another flat washer that's thicker. Where these flat washers go is up inside of the grab bar. One goes in this end, one goes in the front end. So remember to put the fat washer, and that's why I put it on top. Top meaning I put it together like this, and stored the nut and bolt in where it belonged. Now I'm going to put one washer there, and I'm going to stick another washer up here. Okay, so the front one, let me show you on this side. On the back, where the back of the grab bar is, it's flat. But on the front, it's hollowed out. So that washer will fit down in there. On this one, on the back one, it kind of goes up into the grab bar. So that's the way that goes. Now, what I learned about putting this on, just like my mentor told me years ago, don't tighten it up until you have all the fasteners. So I had tightened the two grab bars thinking I'd have enough play to get the two smaller Phillips head screws into this. I didn't. So you can put them in here, but don't tighten them up. Then you'll have enough play. I loosened these back up again so that I'll have enough play. So I'm gonna shut down the camera now and put these bolts back in. All right, we're back. So this is the item that I removed that had the twist pin in it, kind of like a cotter pin, except it like a paper clip, between a paper clip and a cotter pin on the back side. And this is what controls lowering the mower deck to the mower deck cut and height. There's a bolt here. It comes up and hits a stop. You adjust that for fine tuning stuff. You have the PTO selector. That's the outside lever from the operator position. I didn't remove these. I'm gonna make sure they're tight here. I forgot to check them. In fact, I know one's loose. It has an interlock. It has an interlock thing in, and it goes up and hits this small interlock right here. And it goes on the outside, and that's how it gets. That's how it's connected. So the outside shaft connects here right in front of the gas tank. Not gas tank, fuel tank. And the inside lever is the PTO engagement lever, and it connects back here. Let me show you. Right underneath that pin is where that connects. And that lever only has 2 bolts on it. These 2. Hard to mess that up. But the outside shaft has 4 bolts, 2 here, 2 here. You only really need to take these off to take it apart. But if you want to remove the lever from the top side before you take it apart, just remove these 2. You can actually just remove these 2 and let these connected if you like. Might not be a bad idea. I didn't think about that at the time. So how I took it apart was to remove these 2. And yeah, that's how I got it apart. Up here, that's the 1 bolt. And then the band, the metal that is like a support, I put it on top of the mount, ran this up through. There's a flat washer right here next to the bolt head. And then there's a second flat washer that sits on top of the fender, between the fender and the grab bar. Don't forget that. It's a thicker washer, and it goes between the grab bar and the plastic. The second one is right there, and it also has a fat washer, and there's a recess it goes into. And then you got your Phillips screw here and your Phillips screw here. So essentially, to take the grab bar off, you have to remove the 2 Phillips screws and 2 18 millimeter bolts. And the grab bar will come off, with the exception, then you have to remove your linkage for your PTO select and PTO engagement. This here, it helps to remove this. I don't think it's it might be necessary to get this out. I think that's why I removed that, was to get the PTO engagement linkage to come out without a hassle. Because it's kind of like spaghetti in here. Very well engineered spaghetti, but spaghetti nonetheless. So that's it. The left-hand side is back together as far as the fenders. Okay, I'm going to bring you up to speed on the right-hand side. So one of the things you got to put on the right-hand side is the seat mount. And this this thing here is where the owner's manual or operator manual is supposed to reside. I don't keep mine here. I keep mine in my house so it doesn't get torn up, especially when I'm out in the snow. I just don't, you know, I don't have a cab for mine. So everything went on here just as I expected it. The metal strap went in. I put it above. There's a frame mount here. I put the metal strap, the back end, between the frame mount and the plastic. Put the fat washer under between the plastic and the grip. Also, I put the fat washer down in the divot there, and then come up with the you know, the frame mounts there, and then I put those in loosely. Then I got the 2 small Phillips screws started, for this section, one here, one back here, maybe it's here. So on this side, you got three things to take care of on my model. I'm not sure what this is for. It's another feature for maybe like the one with the backhoe. I'm not quite sure, but I got the low range, neutral, high range switch. I've got a four-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive is forward, two-wheel drive is back, and then lower and lift the 3-point and the mid mount. It has 3 bolts. These bolts for the engine, or I'm sorry, the seat mount, are screwed into the hydrostatic transmission. The hydrostatic transmission is made out of aluminum. So I highly recommend using the anti-seize when you got something that's screwing into aluminum like steel or even brass. Dissimilar metals cause corrosion, and then corrosion can lead to stripped threads. There was corrosion on one of these. The other two were pretty good. So I'm hoping putting some anti-seize on here will help that in the future. Each one of them has a lock washer. You can't remove the lock washer from the bolt. So looking underneath, we have, this is where the seat mount. Let's try it. Okay, that's plenty of light, I believe. This is the seat mount. It's got 3 bolts that hold it on, and 2 of them are loose and 1 is out. I'm hoping that's good enough. I haven't gotten my power port yet. It's on order. Hopefully it'll be in tomorrow. I'm having some problem sourcing that. It's a challenge right now. So what I do have hooked up is the raising and lowering. That's back there. And you can see there's 1 bolt here and there's 1 bolt behind this. But you see this cutout? Run that down to low range and then you'll be able to get on that nut. Okay? Tighten these 2, tighten those 2. And once I have them done, I'll put the third control arm on. And that is my 2-wheel, 4-wheel drive selector. So I'm going to pause the video now.